Hey, how's it going and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, nice to meet you. Click the subscribe button to join our family because today we have a very serious topic to talk about. In a world where rape and physical harassment is seriously frowned upon by literally everyone, some people have taken it upon themselves to become predators and harass people on social media, sending them derogatory and sexual messages without taking the time to consider the impact of these messages on the people they're harassing. Which leads us to the premise of our situation. A young 19-year-old female artist is being preyed upon and harassed severally on Twitter because she posts pictures of herself alongside her art, and a portion of her audience automatically believe this is a sign that gives them the go-ahead to harass her with ridiculous and derogatory messages. Have you ever covered yourself in paint and had on a plain white canvas to make expressive art? Cause I'd love to do it with you. That's nice and all, but where's the OnlyFans link? You're selling the wrong sort of art, making it hard on yourself. This post even has 5 likes. So 5 perfectly sane human beings saw this comment and agreed with it, therefore insinuating it made some sort of sense, which it absolutely doesn't. And the most ridiculous of them is this person who thought it was okay to send an entire essay with over 400 chapters of derogatory, and deeply traumatizing messages with no paragraphs to this girl with absolutely no remorse at all and no thought whatsoever on the repercussions of what he is doing. Now, for those of you who pause the video over and over to read what this supposedly normal person sent, well, I hope you feel as disgusted and embarrassed as I am. And on behalf of the entire male gender, I'm deeply sorry for however this must have made you feel after reading it. Now, I'm guessing she must have gotten numerous messages like these ones sent to her, and it just got to the point where she tweeted out saying, "Men are blocked from my DMs now," with a screenshot of one of the messages I just showed. How do you wake up and decide to go out of your way to send messages like this to someone you have never met before or spoken to before in your entire life? You're not normal. No, really, you're not normal at all. You need to get yourself checked, because that is not normal behavior at all. The 19-year-old artist, who goes by Jessica J Artist on Twitter, or just Jess for short, is a self-taught artist and a traditional painter. But taking a look at any of her paintings will pretty much have any school-taught painter second-guessing their choice of education. Her portrait paintings look masterful, and her patience and attention to detail is absolutely mind-blowing. She mostly posts her art on her Instagram account, where she has 21,000 followers who completely love and adore her work, and for good reason. Aside from being really good at painting, she also knows how to draw really well too, which is quite impressive, especially since she is a self-taught artist. To learn and become good at anything takes time, patience, perseverance, and for someone to just come online and comment this on an image you have worked on for hours on end is just disheartening, to say the least. Aside from just being a derogatory and disrespectful remark, you're just also indirectly making her feel like her art is not good enough, and also pushing her into thinking she is wasting her time doing art. Comments and messages like these are very demoralizing, and for people who suffer from depression and constantly need affirmations to keep them going, this can be very harmful to them, especially if it's the comments they happen to read first thing when they wake up in the morning. That just spoils their entire mood for the rest of the day. Totally not cool. I feel things like this are signs of misogyny and chauvinistic traits in some men, especially since the same people sending messages like this will not do the same if it was a male artist sharing their work and asking for support. Everyone will be focused on the painting without thinking twice, or just blatantly hypersexualized remarks about the artist's body. Now, I'm not saying this doesn't happen to men as well, but the ratio compared to women is not even worth a debate at all. If a person posts an image on a social media platform because it's free, doesn't give you the right to comment whatever just because you feel like it, or just because you can. Sometimes just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. Just common courtesy and simple decency should tell you that it's not a normal thing to do, and you're just being weird and intruding in people's personal space. If a person posts an image that happens to fall under that context, that's one thing. But when it's just normal images or selfies, or in this case selfies that have art in them, that is just pushing the line towards online sexual harassment and cybersexual abuse. This article on Teens Health explains sexual harassment and cybersexual abuse in the best way possible. Sexual harassment can involve comments, gestures, actions, or attention that is intended to hurt, offend, or intimidate another person. With sexual harassment, the focus is on things like a person's appearance, body parts, sexual orientation, or sexual activity. Sexual harassment may be verbal, like making comments about someone, but it doesn't have to be spoken. Bullies may use technology to harass someone sexually, like sending inappropriate text messages, pictures, or videos. How did we even end up here? And if we even take a look at one of the images that sparks this full wave of weird DMs and comments, we can see it's pretty much a very normal image and doesn't warrant that type of reaction at all. While normal people leave comments like, "Amazing, you're beyond talented, hope that talent takes you far in life. The colors and design of the background feel like a throwback from that era. Nice touch. You need to go into NFTs." Pause. Let's not get into that right now. We have weirdos leaving comments like this. Dude, did she even ask for your opinion? Just leave a comment like a normal person. And even if you're trying to compliment the artist for looking good, do it like a normal person, without making everything extremely sexual and just being a weirdo. Two works of art here. One is the pack painting and one is you. Damn! I'm an artist, but you got that banging body on top of your talent. You go, girl. Women supporting women. This is exactly what we want to see. That's very nicely done. Don't you just hate it when you try to show your art and guys insist on telling you how attractive you are? Like, focus on the art, please. Well, someone in the comments also noticed how weird this is, but the next comment immediately under that will shock you. Brace yourselves. The artist is clearly seeking for attention herself too. Don't blame the guys at all. Wow. Apparently, it's a crime now to look pretty and be an artist. And that also means if you're a pretty artist, you're automatically seeking attention for yourself whenever you post an image of yourself and your art in the same picture. Ingenious. Twitter just always has a way of surprising you every time you come on the app. I really don't know how people can think like this and just come up with conclusions like this to situations. Most men will comment the artist, you, but I just want to take the time out to appreciate the painting itself, even more the hours, as you previously said, to produce one of the greatest to ever put poetry in motion in this hip-hop world, Tupac. Thanks, Jess. And then the mighty people of Twitter replied to that tweet telling him to go outside and insinuating that the person who made that comment is a simp. But I really don't think there's anything bad with the comment he made, and it's just really funny seeing how everyone is responding to him. We live in very funny times where people can post whatever they want on the internet, especially if it morally sits right with them, and anyone can see what they posted and leave a comment which tends to express the immediate feeling of the person leaving that comment. This freedom of online speech and expression of opinions has caused conflict between individuals who literally don't know each other but somehow just manage to meet on the same social media platform. It's quite sad that the majority of victims of online harassment and hate speech like this are mostly women, and then for the men who also encounter this in various forms are not even targeted as much. This article on KMB Legal talking about the victims of online harassment noted this. Evidence suggests that online harassment is widespread and that young women suffer especially severe forms of cyber harassment. According to a 2017 study by the Pew Research Center, 41% of Americans have experienced some form of harassment online, and nearly 1 in 5 have experienced a severe form of harassment, such as physical threats, sustained harassment, stalking, or sexual harassment, which is literally what Jessica is experiencing at the moment. This just goes to show you how rampant and common situations like this are. Just think about all the other people who are experiencing similar forms of sexual harassment like this and are not even strong enough to loud their voice or talk about it online. It's just really sad. Unsurprisingly, women are encountering sexualized cyber harassment at much higher rates than men. While 9% of men ages 18 to 29 say that they have been sexually harassed online, the number is more than twice that, 21%, for young women of the same age range. Over half of young women report receiving unsolicited explicit images. In a 2006 project conducted at the University of Maryland, in which researchers set up fake online accounts in chat rooms, accounts with feminine-sounding usernames received around 100 sexually explicit and/or threatening messages each day, while masculine names averaged only 3.7 messages of the sort. It unfortunately seems like women just have it harder than men. Imagine just being a woman and just being scared of posting your images online because of weirdos who would just leave terrible comments on your images or just even go as far as sending you terrible DMs. This is actually a very serious topic and needs to be reflected by every one of us who just uses social media every day and is very active. Social media is a useful tool to connect with people, create friendships, and build powerful communities, but we also need to be aware and cautious of how we interact with people on these platforms. Most times people don't consider the impact things like sexual harassment have on the victims, and they just literally do whatever they want and say whatever they want without thinking at all. While many commentators understate the significance of cyber stalking and threats, online harassment often has severe and debilitating consequences for its victims. The internet extends the impact of destructive online posts. Lies that are spread can stay on the internet forever and appear whenever someone, including potential employers, types the victim's name into Google. According to a 2013 study, victims of cyberstalking reported that they had to take time off work or change or quit their job or school at higher rates than targets of traditional stalking. The same study reports that the average financial impact of cyberstalking per victim is $1,200, which often includes legal fees, property damage, moving expenses, and the cost of changing a phone number. In comparison, the average cost to traditional stalking victims was about $500. Reading through this study is honestly just troubling, and just imagine all the women who have experienced different forms of stalking both online and offline, and just having to watch their backs and move around with fear of being followed by someone they absolutely have no idea about is just disturbing. I can't even imagine living in such fear. People honestly need to just start thinking and caring about the next person the same way we think and care for ourselves. Additionally, emotional harm and psychological distress regularly plague victims of cyberstalking and harassment, especially due to their feeling that the perpetrator is inescapable. As a result of its 24/7 presence, cyber harassment may actually be more harmful to a victim's mental health than other forms of harassment or stalking. I feel women and men deserve equal respect both online and offline, and everyone should be given a chance to express themselves or pursue a career in whatever interests them regardless of their gender. And for each and every one of us just casually using social media to interact with people, please let's all try to be nice. It doesn't cost you anything to be a decent person. Respect people's privacy and personal space online, and don't just intrude on them making weird sexual requests and ruining their day. You really have no idea what people are going through, and right now in the world there's a high percentage of people living in depression and severe anxiety, and sometimes the only way for them to escape their reality is through hobbies or other activities that take their mind off whatever it is they're going through. So please be considerate when leaving your comments on people's posts. Of course, advice and constructive criticism is allowed, but always try to keep it respectful and polite. Don't go out of your way to try to hurt people's feelings, or in this case artists, and try and hypersexualize them or their work. Anyways, I'm glad you all stuck around to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and if you want to support the channel or help an African prince, you can always buy me a coffee using the link in the description. Anyway, I hope I made your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.